to life. And go.
Hello, welcome to Yoga Intermissions. This is the Try It at Home series from Salt and Sand Studios. My name is Karen. Great to be with all of you. You almost caught me mid-pose. I was working on something for the practice. Welcome. We are here for about 45-ish minutes, might be a little bit more. We are trying out a new member of the team, which is our microphone, which you can see, but I'm hoping that it helps out in terms of folks hearing and the recording, et cetera, et cetera. So this is our Try It at Home series. Today is a slow flow. If you have had the opportunity to utilize Spotify, you can go ahead and start the playlist at any time. It's a little bit longer than the class, but should take you through just fine. With our slow flow today, we'll start with a comfortable seat. I am sitting on a little red striped cushion. If my friend Nancy is on, really it's Nancy's cushion. Drop the knees, and if that is difficult to do, or it just feels kind of uncomfortable on the hips, you can roll something up or place a pillow underneath each knee. The aim here in Sukhasana is more of a relaxed posture, but not a slumped down or an arched, more of a tucking down of the tailbone, drawing in and up of the navel, loosening of the status quo for the shoulders as you press the shoulder blades behind you. Maybe the hands rest in your lap or on your thighs, your choice. Perhaps to lengthen the back of the neck, you tuck the chin just a tiny bit. The mouth has a little bit of an opening with the tongue, the very tip of the tongue resting on the teeth, right where the top teeth meet the soft palate at the roof of the mouth. Eyes might be closed or at half mast. Notice the breath. I was just reviewing some information on the power of breath control, pranayama, to support stress reduction and the support of, as well, the blood pressure, among other things. Begin to create a 3-part breath, starting with the belly. Part 1. Breathe in, let the low belly really extend all the way around the body and press down toward the ground. Soften the belly to breathe out through the nose. Take that again. Inhale. Exhale, release the air. We'll add part 2, coming into the lower rib cage. Breathe in. Belly expands, lower rib cage all the way around the body. Soften the ribs, the belly, breathe out. Take that again, your cadence. Part 3 gets added to the mix, the higher part of the lungs and the chest. So breathe in, belly. Low ribs, upper ribs and chest. The heart might lift a little bit. Sip in a tiny bit more air. Soften the chest, the low ribs, the belly. Breathe out. Take that again, your cadence. This time, same full 3-part breath, all the way in. Imagine you could breathe all the way to the bottom of the lungs and up toward the shoulders. Pause just for a moment here. Drop the jaw to sigh it away. And repeat. Return to a natural breath. Notice if there's anything different, either in the way the body feels, the way it's breathing, or maybe there's something a little clearer or softer in your mind. In this new moment, consider an intention or a motivation for the practice this morning, or whenever you're practicing it, if you're watching the recording. Our slow flow is about leveraging the breath, utilizing a mindfulness, a focus approach without analysis of how we reach into the postures, more of a process of exploration. Explore your way to bring the hands to the heart center. Feel the energy exchange between the hands. If you'd like a single chant of Om to start the more physical part of the practice, not required to join in. If you have not yet begun the soundtrack, feel free to do so now. We'll take a cleansing breath before Om. With kindness to the body and following your breath, find your way into a tabletop. If you need something underneath the knees because they're a little crunchy, or maybe you've had injuries, feel free to place a blanket or a towel or some sort of softness underneath the knees. Knees are right below the hips, wrists below the shoulders, fingers nice and wide. So spread them a little left to right. And imagine that the hand itself is a spider. The spider's doing a little push-up off the mat. So most of the energy of the hand in connection with the mat is around the outer edges of the hand. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, spread the shoulders a little bit, and draw the tailbone down by lifting the navel in and up. This alone creates activity, starts to fire up some places in the body. We're going to go ahead and press energy into the hands and the feet. Use the belly and that connection with the ground to float the knees off the mat, just a couple inches. Tuck the tailbone. Breathe here, 3, 2, 1. The knees drop to the mat. The sitting bones come toward the heels. As you inhale, forearms come to the mat. We take a little cat shape for a moment with the cow shape with the forearms on the mat. Before we move into a full cow, press the floor away. Exhale, round into the spine. Drop the tailbone, drop the head. Inhale, neutral spine. Imagine that there is a gem in your navel and you're working to keep it there because it's not adhered to the navel. And you're doing so by moving that navel in and up. Press the floor away once again. Breathe out, knees lift. Round into the spine, long neck. Breathe, 3, 2, 1. Draw the knees back down. Breath out, sitting bones toward the heels, a modified child's pose. Forearms come to the mat. Shift the shoulders right over the elbows, a cow shape in this form. Inhale, reach the heart forward toward the thumbs. Keep your cow shape. Exhale, neutral spine. Now take the left foot and place it right behind the left wrist, right on the mat. So the knee is a little outside the tricep. You round it into the spine. Take that to the other side. Nice deep bend in the knees. I have my head lifted. It's crunching my neck, so I'm going to drop it. Bend the elbows, cup an elbow in each hand. Really slowly press the floor away on the breath out to lengthen the legs only as far as it feels good for the body. Find a little sway left and right. Pause for stillness, release the hands to the mat. Heel toe the feet in toward each other just a bit so they're bony hips distance in front of you. Soften the knees a lot so the belly's in contact with the thighs. Press the floor away to really slowly inhale and rise to standing. When the shoulders stack over the hips, reach for the stars. Fingertips twinkling just like the stars. Exhale, palms together at your heart. Pause here. Draw energy from the earth up the inner arches of the feet. That allows the energy to draw upward toward the hips on the inseams. And then up from the hips to the shoulders, to the back of the head. Keeping the palms pressed together, lift the arms overhead. Keep the palms pressed together. Breathe in, tuck the tailbone. Exhale and tilt over to the right. Press lots of energy into the big toe mounds of both feet. Inhale, rise up. Hands move more toward each other. Exhale, tilt to the left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cactus arms. Feel the change in the rotation of the shoulders. Tuck the tailbone. Breathe in. Exhale, hands intertwine at your low back or behind your bottom. Knuckles move toward the ground. Shoulder blades start to squeeze in. Tailbone tucks. Lift the heart. Exhale, sit into a modified chair pose. Feet stay where they are. More energy into the heels than into the top, the balls of the feet. Breath in. Draw the navel in and up. Exhale, fold. Keep the knees bent. Hands might stay right where they are or intertwined. They might float from the spine. Head loosens and nods and shakes. Big breath in. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. Guide the fingers up the shins for a halfway lift. Long, flat spine, shoulders toward the hips. Sitting bones behind you. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, float once again to standing. Arms sweep high to reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, long flat back, half lift, breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the mat as you gently step one foot back and let the other foot meet it. Adjust as you need to find high plank. Press energy forward and backward in the balls of the feet. Your knees might already be down. And as the heart reaches beyond the thumbs, press into the toes and drop the knees. We're in a bit of a modified tabletop. Untuck your toes. Exhale, bend the elbows, bring them into the rib cage. Reach the heart forward, the hips back for a little back bend. Exhale, come down to the mat. Tabletop. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. In your first downward facing dog, it always is helpful to find a little movement. Working out what feels right for the shape of the body. Huge breath in the nose and out the mouth. An inhale takes you to the toes, the balls of the feet, even reaching off the mat. An exhale, heels drop over to the right. More energy into the left hand. Open up the whole left side of the body. Breathe in, come back to the tiptoes. Exhale, heels drop to the opposite side. Inhale, return to the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees a lot. Shins hover over the mat. Activate the quads, activate the belly, press the floor away, breathe in, exhale, downward dog. Heels aim for the mat, but it's a direction, not a destination. Breathe in. And out. Rise back to the tiptoes, bend the knees a lot, look past your hands, little tiny steps all the way to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Crawl the hands over toward the outside of the left foot, drop the head. You might need to bend the right knee to make this happen for you, or you might need to work the hands onto the shin and calf. Inhale, sway through center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, release. Root to rise, press into the feet to come to standing. Arms once again sweep high. Exhale, palms together at your heart. A little weight shifts into the right foot as you come to the toes of the left foot. If you're pressing really hard into the mat, see if you can loosen a little bit, maybe coming to the tops of the toes or perhaps lifting the knee just a little bit. Drop the shoulders. Exhale, left foot all the way to the mat. Take that to the other side. First drawing onto the ball, the foot and the toes. Adding a little levity by coming to the tops of the toes or perhaps lifting the knee. Bring the right foot back to the mat. Take that to the other side, coming to the tops of the left toes. And maybe using a little more energy in the quad and the belly, the left knee lifts in toward the heart. If you like to play with this a little bit, you might bend into the standing leg. Finding a little extra work in the quad, in your balance, in your glutes. Very gently, inhale, sweep the left foot behind you, coming into a runner's lunge stance with the hands remaining at your heart. You might heel toe the right foot out to the right. Check in, finding your balance. Right knee right over the right ankle. Activate, fire up the glutes. Draw the knee of the left leg toward the quad. I'm going to pause here for a moment. Very gently on an exhale, bend the left knee. Stay here, tuck the tailbone under, breathe in, exhale, twist over to the right. Keep using the big toe mound of the right foot. Keeping that back knee just a little bit bent, scoop the belly in, tuck the tailbone, and bring the left elbow toward the right knee. It might not make it, that's okay. Pause here for a moment. Inhale, rise back up. Lengthen the left leg again. Once again, bend the left knee. Draw the tailbone down, scoop the belly in, left elbow to the right knee. If you like, you can take a more complete twist by lengthening the left leg, drawing the left elbow outside the right knee. Bottom hand can become a fist. Top hand wraps it like rock and paper, and you press with the top hand to find your twist. Big breath in. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. Drop the back knee down to the mat. Maybe you need something underneath it for comfort. Rise the shoulders over the hips, hands by the sides, modified Anjaneyasana. For me, I need to move my right foot forward a little bit to find a little bit more of an opening into the front of the left hip crease. Collarbones wide. Find your breath. More energy into the top of the back foot and the heel of the front. On one breath in, arms float high or move into cactus, whatever shape works for your body. Exhale, hands frame your front foot for a half split. Take your time. I'm going to move by scooching the foot forward, using breath till the leg is as long as I can make it with the way my hamstrings are working today. Toes point toward the torso or the sky. Heart reaches forward for your fold. Ardha Hanumanasana. Movement with breath. Explore what this posture can do for the body and what the breath can do for the posture. Exploring the slow flow. Go ahead and bring the sole of the right foot back to the mat. The right hand comes inside the knee. Heel toe the right foot out to the right and move it back so it's parallel to the hands. Very briefly, we'll discover just a movement into a bit of a lizard, peeling open the right foot like a book. The right knee splays out to the right. Walk the hands forward to about one hand's distance. Go ahead and tuck the back toes under. Bring the sole of the right foot back to the mat. Lift the left knee off the mat. Sweep the right leg long behind you. It is off the mat. Draw the knee to the elbow, right side. Lengthen again. Exhale, knees drop halfway down. Modified chaturanga. A back bend. Move to downward facing dog. Adjust if you need to. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And inhale brings you back to the tops of the feet. Exhale, knees bend. Hop, skip, walk, jump, forward fold the front of your mat. Bring the hands around behind the legs, maybe the calves, the ankles, or the heels. Breathe in, rise up, reach the heart forward, shoulders toward the hips. Draw the belly in. Exhale, release and fold. Maybe these are super bent or micro bent. Hands release, breath out. Slowly rise up to reach for the stars. Exhale, hands to your heart. Maybe a little space between the feet. So this time you can shift the weight into the left foot. Float onto the right toes. Use the belly, the breath, and the quad to lift the knee off the mat. Sink a little maybe into the left knee. Reach the right foot behind you for your modified runner's lunge. Perhaps finding balance by moving the left foot out to the left. Long, long, long and strong with the breath and the right heel all the way to the heart. Pump up the right glutes to draw the tailbone down and lift the right kneecap toward the quad. Bend the right knee a little bit. Pause, tuck the tailbone, draw the navel up, scoop the belly in, tap the left knee with the right elbow. Pause here. Keep that right knee bent just a little bit. Lengthen the right leg now, press into the heel, keep the glutes fired up. Come back to your hands at your heart. It's time to twist a little further over to the right. Tailbone down, belly in and up. Right elbow taps the right knee, left knee. And maybe you take the twist a little deeper with the elbow outside the knee. Bottom hand becomes a fist. Rock, paper covers it. Reach that right heel behind you. Press into the right elbow and the fist with the left hand to find a deeper twist. Inhale. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. The right knee now comes to the mat. Our modified Anjaneyasana, toes on tuck, shoulders stack over the hips, hands by your sides. If the left knee is not 90 degrees bent, you might move the left foot forward a little bit, or maybe you do so in order to open up the right hip flexor a little bit more, pressing energy into the shoelace side of the right foot and the heel of the left. And breath in, shifts the arms toward the sky, Anjaneyasana. And breath out, hands frame your front foot. Take your time to move into your half split. You might use a hand to lengthen the leg, or maybe you slowly heel toe it forward, finding whatever distance makes sense between your left heel and your right knee. Left toes point to the sky, heart shifts forward, the fold comes with the breath. On a breath out, sole of the left foot returns to the mat. You might scoot the right knee forward a little bit as you bring the left hand inside the left foot. Bring the foot back to parallel the hands. Peel the foot open, much like a lizard, but we won't take it into full lizard today. We're working with the discovery, the process, the breath, rather than assuming we're going to go find a perfect posture. Sole of the foot returns to the mat. Back toes tuck under to float the back knee off the mat. Hands walk forward a little bit so we can find our way into a three-legged plank with the left leg high. Draw the left knee to the left elbow. Inhale, extend. Drop the left foot to the mat, the knees to the mat. Child's pose. Knees might come a little wider. Sitting bones toward the heels. Forehead rests on something. That might be your friend Nancy's block. This is my friend Nancy's block. As you inhale, crawl the hands back toward the knees and bring the feet and the knees parallel, even if the knees are a little bit wide. Sit back onto the heels and sweep the hands behind you. You can either place the hands on the feet where the fingertips come to the arches of the feet, or maybe the fingers are touching the toes. As you reach the shoulders behind you, send the tailbone toward the sky. So you're activating the quads a bit, the hamstrings and the glutes to lift the hips a little toward the sky. You might remain here. Maybe the heels of the hands come to the mat. Or maybe you find a little bit more of a back bend, but you continue to lift the tailbone to the sky. We're lengthening the quads and the psoas, the hip flexors on the front of the hips. Bring the hips back to the heels. Crawl the hands forward. Tabletop, a cat and a cow, or cow and cat as I just did. Hands walk forward, toes tuck under, lift the hips downward facing dog. Breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Left foot moves a little toward the center of the mat, left to right. Inhale, the right leg reaches high. Press the chest toward the thigh, the left thigh, and open up the right hip, stacking it over the left. Bend the right knee so the heel comes toward the glute. That often shifts the heart and the shoulders out of whack. See if you can maybe peek under the left armpit to square the shoulders to the front of your mat. Inhale, extend the leg toward the sky. Exhale, knee comes to your nose. Pause for a moment. Inhale, extend three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, and the foot steps down onto the mat. Crescent warrior, staying on the ball of the back foot. Breathe in, float upward. Breathe out, sink into your front knee. Breathe in, lift the heart. Breathe out, warrior two. Back foot comes parallel to the back of the mat. Juicy bend in the front knee. Press lots of energy into the outer edge of the left foot and draw the kneecap toward the quad. Now imagine the thighs are sending their energy, the inner thighs, toward each other. Gaze is over the middle right finger. Flip the front palm. Reverse your warrior. Here, the entire right side of the body is opening up, but we still retain a reaching of the heart toward the sky. Maybe we find a smile on our faces. Side angle. Right forearm inside the right thigh. Left arm sweeps around like a clock hand. Analog. Heart aims for the sky. Gaze wherever it feels okay. Make sure you're not bending into that back knee. You're really working the glutes here. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale. Inhale, extend your front leg. Exhale, warrior two, arms. We're in this really cool triangular shape, but we're going to take a little deeper, maybe moving the back foot up the mat a tiny bit to point the left toes more toward the upper left corner of the mat. Shift the hips toward the outer edge of the left foot. Keep the belly strong, reach the right arm in front of you as far as you can go. When you've gone as far as you think you can go, I promise you haven't. Keep the belly strong. Reach a little farther. Drop the knee, the hand inside the ankle, the calf, the knee. And when you're ready, an inhale. Left arm magically floats high and the heart reaches upward. On an inhale, front knee bends, return to warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Exhale, hand slowly, discovering the root to the mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Your choice. Chaturanga push-up, knees down or up, or maybe right to downward facing dog. If you like, explore an upward dog or other back bend. Exhale, hips lift, downward dog. A breath in through the nose and out the mouth. Right foot moves a little more toward the center, left to right on the mat. A breath in, the left leg floats high. Pause for a moment as you press the chest toward the front of the right thigh, and the back of the right thigh reaches up and behind. Open up the downward dog. A breath in lengthens the left leg behind you. Once again, exhale, knee to nose. Pause. Inhale, extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Really scoop the knee up before you step the foot inside the left hand. Find your foundation. Prepare for the lift, but find your way first. Shoulders toward the hips. Heel of the right foot reaches behind you. Maybe hands float by your side before you rise all the way to your crescent warrior. Breathe in. Open up warrior two. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior. Warrior two, exhale. Reverse the warrior, inhale. Exhale, side angle. Don't forget the outer edge of the right foot. Right kneecap toward the quad. Use the hamstrings to help. Reach the heart toward the sky. Inhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Extend the front leg. Back heel might sneak a little forward to point the toes to the front right corner of the mat. Warrior two, arms. Shift the hips toward the outer edge of the right foot. Shift the shoulders and the arms toward the front of the room. Right past that left foot. Pause when you think you've reached your edge. Gather the belly in. Make a little more space to press that hand forward a little bit more. Reach the shoulders, drop the hand. Pause. Right arm floats to the sky. Heart opens up. Belly strong, sink into the left knee to float back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands windmill down around your front foot. Pause. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Pause. Tabletop. Untuck your toes. Cat and cow or cow and cat. Come to sitting on your heels. I'm going to stack the shoulders over the hips, coming to a seat. If this is difficult for your knees, you might place something underneath them, or maybe you roll up a blanket or a towel or place a block or cushion underneath the bottom to find that seat that works for your knees, your legs, your back. I'm going to find a little cat-cow from this seated posture, reaching the heels of the hands forward, scoop the belly in, drop the head. And reach the heels of the hands toward the hips. Tailbone reaches outward, shoulders come to meet it, heart lifts. Another cat shape. And cow shape. We'll take one more back bend before we move fully down to the mat. Coming onto the knees. Feet are knees are hips width distance, bony hip, and the feet are the same distance apart as the knees. And take the heels of the hands and place them on the fleshy part at the low back, right where the bottom meets the back. You're going to use the thumbs and the heels of the hands to press the fleshy part down. Use the fingertips to guide the tailbone and the hips forward, just a couple of inches. And go ahead and imagine you're super slowly zipping up a wetsuit to draw the front body nice and long. No back bend yet, just lengthening from the top of the pelvis all the way to the sternum. Now imagine that the shoulder blades are cogs that automatically, because they're magnets to, there are lots of things, they're gathering together behind you. It gives you the opportunity to open the heart a little bit more. You might take that entire sequence again, pressing down on the fleshy part of the back, tilt the tailbone forward, the hips forward, lengthen the front body, shoulder blades lock into each other, heart lifts, maybe the head drops. On a breath out, shoulders stack over the hips. Sitting bones come toward the heels. Swing over onto one side, and the legs come in front. Here we're going to go ahead and take the heel of the right foot, place it underneath the left thigh. Take the left ankle, place it outside the right thigh. You might need to shift around a little bit. The closer the right heel gets to the glutes, the more room you have, the ball of the left foot moves to the mat to find a twist over the left shoulder. Breathe in nice and deep. Exhale, twist. Inhale, spine gets long. Breathe out, twist. One more time. And out. Now for the party part. It is spring. It's May 2nd, so we missed May Day, but we're going to do a little celebration here. This is your party move. The hands will come just outside the right hip and just outside the right thigh. We're going to go ahead and just keep the feet where they are, lifting the bottom off the mat. You're going to spin all the way around to come to your twist on the other side. It's not magic. It's actually pretty safe and pretty basic, but oftentimes people end up facing the back of their mat. So see me after class if you had a hard time finding that one. The big toe mound of the left foot into the right foot into the mat, the heel of the left foot toward the bottom. Take your twist, breath in, spine long. Breath out for your twist. Inhale for length. Exhale, find a rinsing out of the spine. And one more time. Breathe and come back to center. Lengthen both legs in front of you so they extend with the heels reaching toward the front of the mat. You might adjust to bring the glutes a little bit wider on the mat. Maybe knees are bent if you have tight hamstrings. Heart lifts high, belly in and up. On a breath out, reach forward for your fold Paschimottanasana. An inhale slowly rises you back to your seat. And an exhale, take your time or go quickly or find some other route all the way down to your mat. Yay! 2 more postures before Shavasana. The first is Happy Baby. Bring the knees so that they aim outside your ribs. And imagine that the feet step on the clouds. Or maybe there's no clouds where you are, which would be quite lovely if it's sunny and blue. Arms come long inside the knees, hands to the inner or outer edges of the feet. And the aim is to have the low spine on the back. Hopefully your low spine is on your back, but also on the mat. Now find a little rocking left and right. Maybe lengthen one leg at a time to help with that. Exploring this massage, this really lovely, very natural position for humans, especially when they're teeny tiny. Take a hold of the big toes with your peace fingers and your thumbs. Extend the legs long to the sky. Maybe you find a little opening with the legs reaching out toward the sides of the mat. Happy Baby. Hands come underneath your low back for the legs to extend toward the sky. You might adjust the shoulder blades so you feel the inner parts of the shoulder blades really connecting with the ground. And then as slowly or quickly as your body guides, find your way all the way to the mat. Hands release from underneath you. Palms face upward. Space between the feet splay outward. Let the shoulder blades find their place on the mat. Breathe in nice and deep through the nose. Let it go out the mouth. Shavasana. Here a moment as you integrate your practice, body, breath, mind, and heart. Note the power of the breath. And know that the practice of breath control, pranayama, especially the practice of slowing down the breath, can have a magnificent effect, not just on the body, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest instead of fight or flight, but also on the mind, on hypertension, on sleep, and on the general wellness of the body. Allow the breath to deepen as you return your awareness to the body on the mat. A long, full body pencil stretch. Arms can sweep overhead for that. Toes point to the front of the mat. Maybe you hook your thumbs to breathe in and stretch, stretch, stretch. Reach front and back. Open up the armpits. Lift the tailbone a little bit. Lengthen the belly. Exhale. Bring the hands by the sides. Feet to the mat. Find your way all the way onto one side in a nourishing fetal position. Maybe a hand under your head and maybe a hand connects to your knees. Take a moment to picture the incredible shape of your human body right on this mat. A never-ending circle of breath, of energy, a singular line connected of life, of change, and the breath representing the preciousness of life. Come back to your intention or motivation and use your top hand to press yourself to a seat. Ankles can cross. Hands find their home at your heart. Maybe a little smile on the face even as the eyes close. Close practice as we began, coming full circle. The sound of Om. Exhale all the air from your lungs. Long, full, complete breath in. Thumb knuckles move to your third eye center. May you find your flow today, allowing the breath to guide the body, the mind, and the heart. Together we bow. Namaste. Thank you, each and every one of you, from the bottom of my heart for joining in practice today, whether live or on the recording. As always, if you have the funds, donation is very welcome. Coming to you from Vermont, Salt and Sand Studios. My name is Karen. Welcome, and see you again in Yoga Intermissions. Try this at home, definitely. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Have a great week.